Quick facts. Time textures, everybody. Free contact player, no full version required, NKS support, about 6 GB in size, 1 contact patch, 2 instrument slots for blending, over 200 presets. One preset can take between 50 MB up to 1 GB of RAM. Is it an orchestral library, processed pads, or a cinematic scoring tool? It's all of these, and it takes us on a sonic journey through life itself. If I had to summarize time textures in 3 words, it would be always something happening. The fourth one would be mod wheel. With time textures, sonuscore tries to capture the expressiveness of orchestral instruments like violins or clarinets and combines it both with other orchestral instruments and effects processing to create evolving atmospheric soundscapes. This evolution can happen through dynamic layers, movement, aka a second articulation, octave particles created by the engine and their speed, and extensive effects processing. And you can have full control over how they're mapped across the mod wheel range. The sample pool of time textures consists of an almost entire orchestra. A full string section with violins, violas, cellos and basses, and different brass and woodwinds options, as well as a piano and a harp are the foundation for the textures. Each time the library is loaded up, it greets us with a beautiful animation, highlighting the 2 instrument slots and the circular main matrix in the middle. This little eye candy immediately gets me in the zone. And when pushing the first notes on my keyboard, I know I'm in for a treat. On the first startup, Time Textures shows us a quick tutorial, making us familiar with its most important function: mapping parameters to the mod wheel and controlling their behavior. Example: this is the Sul Tasto violins with nothing mapped at all. Let's map the dynamics by clicking on the M icon. Now the dynamics are assigned to the entire mod wheel range, just as you know it from other sample libraries. Lowest mod wheel position means lowest dynamic layer and volume. Highest mod wheel position means highest dynamic layer and volume. Now, holding and dragging the double arrow icon adjusts the range. Half the range means I have to move my mod wheel all the way up to reach half of the value. And the circle decides the offset, at what value it all starts at the lowest mod wheel position. Let's add movement, which is a second articulation blended in. For the violins, it seems to be a type of tremolo, I think. But let's only use the first half of it for a more subtle effect. I'm adding the first half of the octave particles, but I want them to only appear in the upper half of my mod wheel movement. I can do that by moving this handle here, and you'll see it displayed in the circle matrix. Cool. In exactly the same way, you can map EQ and LFO, reverb, an entire effects rack with its individual parameters, and things like pan, stereo width, and even the way it cycles through the notes of a chord. The vast possibilities of this simple concept are seriously impressive for creating our own custom sound design. Luckily, sonuscore also gives us over 200 presets to immediately get going. Activating single and natural shows us all the original orchestral samples the way they were recorded, with either only the dynamics mapped or the movement, aka second articulation, and the octave particles added in. I'm glad we have access to those raw sounds too. Couple then adds the second instrument slot, again with natural focusing on the original samples, and cinematic having more intense effects. The key range shows the left instrument slots in orange and the right slot in blue. The ideal range, where both instruments play, lies in between in black and white. These presets are full of movement, and I really recommend using slow mod wheel movements to let the subtle details shine as the soundscape unfolds. Also, oh my gosh, these particles react to the dynamics of the instrument. That's nice. Thanks to the multitude of orchestral instruments in the sample pool, time textures ranges from light and ambient, for example with the piano and harp, haunting, emotional and icy with the strings, and more defined and strong with the brass. And when combining instruments of different sections, you really get to understand the diverse flavors this library is capable of. You can create your own user presets from scratch or alter existing ones and save them. Here I modify the existing presets Primula Flora. And add 2 tempo sync gate effects, 16th notes to the violins and 8th notes to the flutes. I save the preset and it's mine to keep. Time Textures is a wonderful hybrid of organic orchestral soundscapes interwoven with cinematic effects that creates breathtaking atmospheres full of motion and character. Seriously, these textures sound alive and they are breathing music. Some of these sounds actually physically made me hold my breath in shock of how beautiful it is. Slowly moving the mod wheel reveals the intricate layers of each preset, and thanks to the powerful engine with a super intuitive and clear user interface, I can come up with creative solutions myself. With many libraries, I can't be bothered and stick to the presets, but here the workflow is so rewarding that I'm actually motivated to do it. Time Textures clearly benefits from its large variety of orchestral instruments. There's only so much you can do with the violin sounds without extensively redesigning the sound with a lot of effort. And not all of us have the time, knowledge or will to do it ourselves. Therefore, it's fantastic to have all those orchestral colors of a harp, clarinet or double bass right there, ready to be adjusted to our liking. Every instrument has a second articulation in the movement section, and the engine does a great job emitting these octave particles as a sparkle on top. Everything is so dynamic and vivid that listening doesn't get boring fast. These moving, swelling, pulsing, percussive or still textures really ignite my creativity. You can score entire movie scenes by manipulating the dynamics and movements matching with the intensity of the picture, and it's perfect for cinematic intros, orchestral layering and adding unique colors and motion to a composition. Time Textures is currently on an intro sale for €199 with a €249 regular price on sonuscore's website. In my opinion, with such a diverse orchestral sample pool in a simple yet powerful engine that creates soundscapes that almost made me tear up, it's well worth its price. I wrote a little demo with Time Textures. It's Time Textures only. Subscribe to the channel for more high-quality composer content, and I will see you soon.